Hey guys, I am back in Stuttgart Airport. Today I'm revisiting Eurowings after almost 2 years on an early evening flight out of Stuttgart, Germany headed for Barcelona, Spain, EW2520. This being an early evening flight makes this a bit of an unusual thing for me. If you're familiar with my channel, you'd know that I've flown through here at least once a year. And that would be true for the last few years, and even before I started making trip reports, I'd fly through Stuttgart a lot. But here's the interesting thing. This is my first time flying out of Stuttgart during any time other than the morning. I have never once entered the check-in area during broad daylight. So you could probably imagine how crazy it is for me to be seeing this familiar airport in such an unfamiliar environment. And yeah, the reason why in the past I've always departed here during mornings is because every other time I've flown out of this airport happened to be on my return leg to the States. So I've never once had a trip where the flight out of Stuttgart wasn't the end of it. So it's refreshing to actually see this airport knowing that my vacation isn't over, and instead I'm about to see yet another incredible European city. So yeah, I'm looking forward to covering Eurowings again. Except this Eurowings flight will have a bit of a twist to it. It will be operated not really by Eurowings themselves, but by Avion Express Malta on a wet-leased Airbus A320. An A320 with barely a livery. Now, what is Avion Express Malta? I first heard about this airline back in early 2022. I was set to fly Eurowings from Vienna to Stuttgart that summer, and I did. But until a few months before the actual departure, it was stated that that flight would be operated by Avion Express Malta. And when I saw that, I was confused. I was like, what is this airline? Why is it operating my Eurowings flight? So, Avion Express Malta is a subsidiary of the aircraft crew maintenance and insurance provider Avion Express. One of a few things they do is provide wet lease services. Wet leasing is when an airline leases an aircraft along with the crew, maintenance, and insurance, all from another airline or company. This is typically done for short-term periods. And in March 2022, Eurowings made an agreement with Avion Express Malta to wet lease a few of their A320s to help with summer operations of Eurowings flights. These A320s could have operated any Eurowings flight. And like I just said, my Vienna to Stuttgart flight from almost 2 years ago was set to be operated by Avion for a certain amount of time, but as you can probably tell, they switched it to a legacy A320 of Eurowings. But a year later, I was in Stuttgart and I did end up seeing a few of the Avion operated Eurowings jets. And yeah, as you can see, they don't really have liveries, they just have a Eurowings sticker on the side. It makes sense why they don't fully paint these. It's because they only operate these during the busy months, and during the times when Eurowings doesn't need them, Avion would want them leased to other airlines that do. So when they just have the Eurowings sticker, it's a lot easier to remove the Eurowings branding when that time comes. And yes, that Vienna to Stuttgart flight got switched to a legacy Eurowings jet, but now I'm here less than 2 years later flying Eurowings again, and this time I will actually be on one of the near livery-less wet-leased A320s. So today we'll be finding out how different it actually is from taking a normal Eurowings flight, and I'm very excited. By the time I got to the airside, I didn't immediately go to my gate. Instead, I went over to see this Helvetic Airways Embraer 190-E2 operating the flight to Zurich. I made a trip report on the Zurich to Stuttgart flight, which I had taken a week before this, and if you haven't noticed already, the aircraft here and the aircraft from that video are the exact same plane. Hotel Bravo Alpha Zulu Bravo is the tail, and yeah, you should definitely go check out my trip report on board. Beside the Helvetic E2, I saw a generic E190 of German Airways, but apparently it was operating the KLM flight to Amsterdam. I think this is another example of a wet lease plane. Not the one I'm on, but still a wet lease. While I was here, I picked up some things to eat. Pizza and Wurst, truly a normal food combo. Now, I am no stranger to flying on wet-leased aircraft. In 2018, I took a Swiss Airlines flight from Zurich to Stuttgart on a Bombardier Q400 of Austrian Airlines wet-leased to Swiss. As a matter of fact, it happened to be the oldest Q400 in service. Later, I managed to spot the late afternoon British Airways flight to London Heathrow. Looks like an A320 is doing it today. I actually flew on the morning BA flight to Heathrow last year, except it was on an A319. I also spotted a surprising number of Avion Express Malta A320s wet-leased to Eurowings, like this one, even before the one set for my flight arrived here from Berlin. Of course, there was a handful of legacy Eurowings jets like this little A319, I don't know where that's going. It was about time that my nearly colorless ride to Barcelona arrived from Berlin, so I happened to spot it taxiing into gate 140. There's our star of the show, the first wet-leased jet to be covered on this channel, 9 Hotel Mike Lima Whiskey, a 17-year-old Airbus A320 of Avion Express Malta, wet-leased to Eurowings. What's kinda surprising is that it has CFM56 engines, as most of the A320s of Avion are equipped with EI-EV2500. Though it's a mostly blank plane, it does have the Eurowings sticker. If you saw the Flight Radar 24 image of the aircraft that I put up earlier, it would become clear that this particular jet was leased to Eurowings quite recently, as the latest image on Flight Radar 24 at the time showed it as a completely blank plane, and yeah, because of that, I originally expected this plane to not have any livery at all, but I guess I can't quite say that now that it has Eurowings stickers on the sides. Another interesting thing about this particular plane is that it has flown with quite a few other airlines in the past. It first flew for AirArabia, then Rossiya, then Interjet, and it was only in 2022 when Avion Express Malta claimed it, and since then it has had 2 separate wet lease periods with Eurowings, the other was last year. The Avion Express Malta jets have quite a few economy seats by the engine, so naturally I went for one of those when selecting, 7F. Like I did for my Vienna to Stuttgart trip 2 years ago, I chose the smart fare when getting this flight. This allows free seat selection along with the checked bag and priority boarding. Yes, I was in boarding group 1. Just for more emphasis on the extent of the Avion Express Malta jet operations here in Stuttgart at this time, there was an IAE engined one parked beside me, and later I spotted another one taking off. The main difference between legacy and wet-leased Eurowings flights will become apparent as soon as you're on board, that being the hard product or the seats. As you'd notice, yes, the seats are not what's typically seen on Eurowings. I'd say they're even more comfortable as they actually got padding and adjustable headrests. The only downside compared to the legacy Eurowings jets is the legroom. It isn't great.
Dear guests, on behalf of Eurowings and Avion Express, we would like to welcome you on board this Airbus A320 on your flight to Barcelona. Heißen wir Sie herzlich willkommen an Bord dieses Airbus 320 Maschine auf Flug nach Barcelona. Die Flugzeit dauert 1 Stunde und 45 and your seatbelt is securely fastened. Please ensure that your mobile devices are switched to airplane mode or switched off completely if that's not possible. Laptops and other large electronic devices must be switched off and stowed for takeoff and later on for landing. Passengers are required to comply with signs, pictograms, placards, and cruise instructions at all times during the flight. Please remember, in case of an evacuation, you must leave your hand luggage behind. In case of an emergency landing on water.
Another thing that's important to note about the Avion Express Malta interiors is that they won't even be consistent throughout the wet lease jets themselves. Avion doesn't actually have a set interior. You know, the aircraft in Avion's fleet are second-hand, so I believe they just used the interiors from the airline the aircraft flew for previously, which would actually make this interior the Interjet interior. And believe me, the interiors of these Avion jets are not consistent at all. It's because these aircraft are second-hand. So if you're watching watching this and you're set to take one of these Avion-operated Eurowings flights, it's important to note that you're probably not going to get the interior I'm on now with the comfortable seats. All that aside, I also wanted to let you know that I'll be trying something from the Eurowings Buy Onboard menu once we're in the air, so I'm looking forward to that. The tray table on this particular Avion jet is very small. Yeah, I'm very sorry about the glare. I probably should have chosen a better time to film it. I did close the window, the glare was coming from the window in front of me, but yeah, I probably just should have chosen a better time. I don't know, this is what I got, I don't know what I was thinking. As we got the safety card for the A320. Then we've got the Wings magazine. The only thing I'm gonna look at here is the route map, so nothing else to show there. For some reason, there wasn't an air sickness bag, at least not at my seat. If that's the case, good thing I'm the one in the seat and not someone who needs one. Finally, let's take a look at the Wings Bistro. What could go wrong with a Wings Bistro? Yes, I am gonna order something here today. And we have quite a few things to choose from. In the end, I went for the lemonade, which costed €3.90, and the currywurst, €7.90. I also looked at the Eurowings shop where I spotted this model of a Eurowings A320 which I had actually gotten on a previous Eurowings flight. Unfortunately, my seat pocket had not been fully cleaned out, but to be fair, it's probably easy to miss with all the other seat pocket contents that are normally in there. The prices for the Wings Bistro were actually alright, not as bad as I thought they would be. Preparing the currywurst would take time, but I got the lemonade right away. It was served in a nice glass bottle along with a cardboard cup and a napkin. After 10 minutes, the crew gave me my currywurst, and it seems to be presented as well as it could be. It was hot and ready, had wood cutlery, and overall, it tasted real good.
Captain speaking with updated information. We have started our descent for landing Barcelona Airport. We're going to land at time 1905 on the schedule.
For some reason, the flight radar playback cut off during descent, but everything from there was pretty much an approach parallel to the Barcelona coast. And lucky for me, the coast was visible from my side, so let's enjoy these views. Another thing worth mentioning is that Eurowings doesn't only wet lease aircraft from Avion. They've wet leased A320s from Air Baltic and some 737s from Smartwings.
Cabin crew, take a seat for landing.
Welcome to Barcelona-El Pratt Airport. It has been quite a while. The last time I was in this city was no less than 15 years ago. Eurowings uses Terminal 2, so we will be arriving there. In a few days, I will depart out of Terminal 1 with Lufthansa. So, this flight with Eurowings operated by Avion Express Malta was decent. Nothing less than what I would expect on a low-cost carrier. Having flown 2 legacy Eurowings flights in the past, it was very interesting to see what it would be like on one of the wet-leased ones. The food I tried from the Wings Bistro was actually decent. By the way, the only reason I gave that aspect a 5 out of 10 is because it wasn't complimentary. That's just how my scoring works. So the final score for this Eurowings Avion flight will be 6.3 out of 10, which is actually a decent score for a low-cost carrier. Legacy or wet-leased aircraft, Eurowings is a fine low-cost carrier that gets you there, and if it happens to be the cheapest option for you, I'd go with it.
Wenn wir Ihnen, dass Sie mit uns geflogen sind, wünschen Ihnen einen schönen Abend, bis nächstes Mal. Viel Spaß hier in Barcelona und tschüss.
I managed to get a good shot of the plane from here, which I would use in the thumbnail, and in doing so I came across yet another aircraft that I had flown on previously, another Eurowings aircraft for that matter. As you can see, across from the A320 I arrived on stands a shark-lidded legacy A320 of Eurowings. That happens to be Delta Alpha Echo Whiskey Oscar, the exact same plane I took from Vienna to Stuttgart in summer of 2022. It just so happened to have flown into Barcelona from Cologne, Germany at the same time as my flight from Stuttgart Stuttgart, and now I can actually get both of these K4E Diamond stars in one photo. If only Alpha Sierra Tango X-Ray from Stuttgart to London was here too. That would make the photo complete. But yeah, nice seeing you again, Whiskey Oscar, and goodbye to 9 Hotel Mike Lima Whiskey. Barcelona Terminal 2 sure looks like a nice terminal. Sad that my flight out of here won't be out of this one specifically, but Terminal 1 is probably very nice as well. I'm gonna end the video off here. Thanks for watching, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Have a good day.